As you can probably tell by the name, the War of Jenkins Ear had an unusual start. Despite the war being brief and ending in stalemate, it caused further problems with Great Britain and France in the 7 Years' War. Strange enough, France did not even fight in the War of Jenkins Ear. The war was between the British and Spanish empires. The Peace of Utrecht, which settled the War of Spanish Succession, caused new problems to arise. Despite Great Britain losing the War of the Spanish Succession, the Peace of Utrecht gave new territories to the British that were originally French and Spanish. Also put in place was the Asiento. The Asiento allowed the British to sell slaves and make a profit in the Spanish Caribbean. The French and Spanish did not feel like the victors of the War of Spanish Succession. They felt like they had to do something. The Asiento was reformed due to the Family Compact. The Family Compact was an agreement between France and Spain to combat British maritime. This reform included the inspection of British ships that were suspected of smuggling. The ships often had their goods confiscated and were occasionally sunk. What was a routine inspection became violent. Robert Jenkins was a notorious merchant and smuggler. Jenkins' ear was severed by a Spanish coast guard. Jenkins decided to present his ear to the British government. The British government was shocked at the sight. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Robert Walpole, the Prime Minister of Great Britain, had a policy of peace and prosperity. Great Britain had not been at war during the age of Walpole. Low taxes and a free market allowed Britain's economy to thrive. War was declared against Spain. Walpole's policy changed because of this war. This eventually caused his downfall. The people of Britain were actually thrilled to be in the war. They were out celebrating in the streets, ringing bells. Walpole famously said, "They are ringing their bells. Soon they will be wringing their hands." At first, it seemed the British were going to win the war. The Battle of Portobello was a great success for the British. It was the most significant of the British victories. They managed to seize the settlement of Portobello through a naval attack. The victor, Vice Admiral Edward Vernon, was made a hero. Vernon's victory was immortalized. The battle had a street in London named after it. The Battle of Cartagena de Indias was expected to be a victory for the British as well. In anticipation, commemorative medals of the victory that never was were made in advance. The medals are now on display in Madrid. Fighting also occurred in the modern-day United States. Invasions of Florida by the British were stopped by the Spanish, and invasions into Georgia by the Spanish were stopped by the British. The results of the war was status quo. The borders in the New World did not change. Even though the French did not participate in the war, they were unsatisfied by the results. The French Empire was receding. The French wanted to salvage as much as they could. This led to the start of the War of the Austrian Succession in the European theater, and later, the 7 Years' War in the global theater. The 7 Years' War is better known in North America as the French and Indian War. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and share if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to check out my channel.